Hey guys, this is Cliff. I wanted to make a short video here about a game that I enjoy, Fields of Fire, Volume 1. I had the first edition, first printing, from back in 2008. This game gets talked about quite a bit, gets bashed a bit about its rules. I don't find it to be too bad because the rules have been amended somewhat. Volume 2 still could use some work, but that's being worked on. Another thing that people sometimes comment on is the fact that this puppy comes in a 2-inch box. And while there are a lot of unboxing videos that are nifty and show you what's in the box, a bigger issue is how the heck to get everything back into the box when you're done with it, once everything is punched. So I'm going to kind of do the opposite of a unboxing video. I'm going to do a boxing video and show you how I get everything back in the box. Probably a lot of you have found other ways of doing this, and that's cool. I just thought I'd throw that out there for people who have not yet figured out how to get everything back in one box, because I don't like having decks of cards scattered around or my counters in counter boxes. So we're going to do the opposite, and we're going to start with the empty box. Now, this is a card-driven game, so there are a lot of cards, card decks, and I basically use tuck boxes. And I'm going to give links in the description to everything that I use, so it's sort of going to be one-stop shopping to make it easier to find the resources that I use, just as suggestions. I use the tuck boxes designed by the user DeHell. I don't know if that's how he pronounces it, but that's what I'm going with. Most of the time, I do not sleeve my cards unless I have a high use deck. And the terrain cards are not a high use deck, not shuffled a lot. So I just printed out at 100% the terrain tuck boxes for Normandy and Korea and Vietnam, and they fit in there just nice. Now the actual action decks do get a lot more use, so I do sleeve these cards, and I use Dragon Shield clear sleeves. I'll make a link, you can find those easily. And because they're sleeved, the boxes need to be a little bigger, so I scaled up DeHale's tuck boxes, and I split this into 2 tuck boxes for the action decks. They're nice and flat. Now, to keep things straight as far as the order of play, I created a set of action cards. Cervantes made these cards, made a deck of cards for the move order. I put these inside lamination, so I have this deck and the little cheater cards that come with the action deck I put into top loaders. So I just put that all in place. That's not the hard part. The hard part about getting this all packed back into a box is the fact that the game comes with 880 counters. And there are a lot of different ways to store counters. When I got my first war game, Panzer Blitz, I basically just punched the counters and threw them back in the box when I was done. I didn't even bother trying to organize them. Hey, it was the 70s, I was young and I didn't know any better. I soon realized that probably wasn't the best strategy, so at various times I've used paper envelopes, I've used Ziploc bags, I've used tackle boxes like Plano tackle boxes, I've used counter trays. If you do a lot of these things like tackle boxes and counter trays, you will not get everything back in this 2-inch box. The way I like to do it is a way that Tony Otto, one way or the other, posted, username Bosk, on the site. He used these bead organizer boxes. I'll give a link to where I found them. I found them at Michael's. There are a lot of different variations on this online. I'm convinced they're all probably produced at the same Chinese factory and they just put different labels on them. The key is they have these little boxes. Little square boxes. These will hold 40 to 50 counters. You can hold 4 stacks of 10 in here. Little pop top lids. Over here, there. And you can fit more around the side. I've made templates for labeling these boxes. I get mine into 30 of these. And I'll provide links to that. Basically, I have blue labels for setup and more setup and more setup. I have red labels for things that have to do with fire missions, cover, basic, volumes of fire. We have red boxes. Let's see, the Germans, I gave gray labels. The Americans have green labels. Everything fits in here nicely. Clumsy farmer fingers. More green Americans. And then the Southeast Asians, I gave brown labels, sticking with the colors of the counters for the most part. $28, $29, $30. They all fit in there fine. What else goes in my box? Well, sometimes I write with pencil, sometimes I write with Sharpie. So I throw those in. That's cool. If I'm writing with pencil, I keep track of my enemy ammo and units on just some 3M Post-it notes. If I'm using a Sharpie, I made myself a laminated sheet where I can keep track of the units and their ammo and any notes. I just wipe this off with a little isopropanol, 70% rubbing alcohol to clean it. No problem. Okay, we've got a variety of cards that came with the first volume. I made a copy of the helicopter sheet from volume 2. So all my player aids go in. We've got the combat display that came with the game, but I prefer this combat display that was produced by Jazz online. So this is one I use, and it's laminated, and I just wipe it off with isopropanol right on it with my Sharpie. As far as company commands, I've got Gato Namada's Normandy commands. I got some paper copies, and I've laminated a copy that I can use with my Sharpie. Getting down there, I went online to GMT and got some new briefing booklets from the second printing to go with my volume 1. And I use those when playing. I've got the rule addenda for the rules, and I printed up the new version of the rule book. I got my packing slip from when I got the game, and it goes in the box. I've got the first printing. I've also got the corrected counters from C3I volume 23. So I've got over 900 counters in here. This thing fits in the 2-inch box just fine. Rule book, decks, counters, and all. No problem. And I've done the same thing for volume 2 as well. So that's it in a nutshell. That's how I get everything back into Pandora's box. And I don't have to worry about anything getting separated. Hope this gives you some ideas. That'd be interesting to know what's in your box. Let me know in the comments. Thanks for listening.